Bhagavatam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Gajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kavita Jambu Balasara Bhakshitam Umatatam Shoka Vinashakaram Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Apadam Apartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Loka Viramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyam Attanamatyantaram Bhitanam Bhayanashanam Dishatam Kaladannam Tam Ramachandram Namamyam Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sithaya Pate Namah Pujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Madhuraksharam Arugya Kavita Chakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmiki Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinah Sunman Kathanadam Kunayati Param Gatim Gospati Gitavarisham Mashaki Gitarakshadam Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam Vande Niratmajam Anjananandram Veeram Janaki Chokanajanam Kaveshamakshantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram. Hi, welcome back after this few weeks, maybe a month break that we have had. We left last time in Vana Parva, the third of the 18 Parvas of Mahabharata. And in Vana Parva, we had reached that stage where, in the first few days of the forest exile of the Pandavas, they are in Kamyakavana, and we had reached a stage where Yudhishtra had received the Akshaya Patram. He had offered worship to Lord Surya, and Lord Surya had manifested himself pleased with the worship of Yudhishthira. He had manifested himself and handed over the inexhaustible vessel to Akshaya Patram, to Yudhishthira. We saw that, right? That beautiful Ashtotram of Surya. Dhaumya, the Rajaguru, the sage who was also the guru of the Pandavas, is with the Pandavas in the forest. The point was that Yudhishthira had been very worried how he would be able to take care of all those who were there with him. There were many, many people still there with him in the forest. They had left Hastinapur for good and come with him. At least that was their intention. He had managed to convince many of them to return. But even then, there were so many people, many Vedavits who preferred to stay with Pandavas than to go back to Hastinapura. And they had their regular dharma of doing Agnihotra, twice or thrice a day, and then that's what they used to do, and they had to be taken care of. And they didn't want to be taken care of, but as the king, it was his duty to take care of them in terms of providing them whatever is their needs in terms of their performance of their or the yagams, the homas that they do as a part of Agnihotra, etc. Basically, all of that. So, and then of course, being Pandavas, there will always be people somehow finding out where they are in the forest and visiting them. So how was the Yudhishthira going to be able to provide for them, to be able to take care of them? Was a big question in his mind. He had been very worried. He felt as if his entire dharma was in peril, in jeopardy. And then his depression was removed first by Rishi Shonaka, who had given him wholesome advice on how to deal with a calamity that he was of the sort that he was facing. And thereafter, when he said yes, he was able to, he overcame his mental depression, but still there was a physical need left on the forest floor, which was that he had to be able to take care of the people in terms of being able to provide them with the wherewithal of having to exist in this new life. And how was he going to provide even food for them? So then Dhaumya, his guru, had told him to worship Lord Shiva, Lord Surya. And he had initiated him into the method of worship. And Yudhishthira had stood in the waters of the flowing Ganga river nearby, and had, with his hands folded, after doing in the early morning, after doing all the proper preparatory rituals, he had worshipped the sun with the Ashtotram of Surya. And then Surya had manifested himself and had, pleased with the worship of Yudhishthira, he had handed over to him an Akshaya Patram. A Patram which he told him as he gave it to him that I will, this Patram is this copper vessel. Grilni Swapitaram Tamram Maya Dattanaradipa Yavat Vatshati Panchali Patrenanena Suvrata Palamula Misham Shakam Sankrutam Yanmahamadmanase Chaturvidam Tadannadyam Akshayam Te Bhavishyati. So he had handed over the Patram and he had said, please accept this copper vessel which I am giving to you, O king. And so long as Panchali has not finished serving for the day and has not eaten herself, has not finished the day's meals, the serving of the day's meals, including herself taking the last meal of the day, is not over, and she does not clean up the vessel and overturn it and keep it on the the ground, the work being done for the day, until such time this vessel will never become empty. Whatever is there in this can be served to as many people as they come. Chaturvidam, whatever. There are different kinds of food that are described. I mean, there's different classifications of food. Bhakshyam, Bhojyam, Peyam, Choshyam, and Tosham and Choshyam. Something like that. Food that can be, there's proper mathematical classification of everything in traditional Indian approach to everything. So even food is a major science. But that said, this basic classification of food that has to be bitten to eat, food that has to be chewed to eat, food that has to be licked to eat, that has to be sucked to eat, and that has to be sipped or drunk. So whatever it is that is there in that patram will never deplete, and therefore this was a great boon that was given by Surya to Yudhishthira, and then he had added one more boon in the end as the last line of the verse, and he said, Idas Chaturdashe Varshe Bhuyo Rajyam Avapsyasi. So these 12 years that they're going to be in the forest of Yudhishthira, this vessel will be inexhaustible. And then in the 13th year, and then of course, 13th year will be for the Agyatavasa, so that the work of this vessel is over. And he says the 14th year, you will regain your lost kingdom. So this boon, Lord Surya gives to Yudhishthira. It's something that we need to kind of roll it in our mind sometimes. But here is Lord Surya, who on the other hand is also extremely attached to his son, Karna. And he goes to him 12 years later, doing just in the Agyatavasa at that time, comes as a vision to him and tells him, Indra will come and ask you for your Kavacham and Kundalam, don't give it. Etc. We saw that story in a fast-forward mode. The same Surya is now is giving to Dharmaputra, Yudhishthira, the Akshaya Patram, and also giving him the boon, the blessing, that he will regain his lost kingdom 14 years from now. We'll talk about it sometime. We'll explore this, but it's a very interesting concept. Then Yudhishthira had, with great joy, he had come out of the river with that vessel in hand. He had gone straight to his Rajaguru Dhaumya. He had fallen at his feet, put his head on his feet in gratitude, and he had handed over that vessel to Panchali Draupadi, and that was the story of Akshaya Patram, which had a beautiful Falashruti saying whoever narrates this story or listens to this story of this hymn to and then the hymn to Surya, the Ashtotram to Surya, will have all prosperity, will get great wealth, he'll be in any war, his sins will be washed away, and he will achieve Surya Loka when he leaves this world. So he had come out of the water, and then he had handed over the Patram to Draupadi. And thereafter, he could take care of all the Vedavis and anybody who visited without any difficulty and give food to them, whoever came into forest. And they had all left. Acha, this was the time they all left for Kamikavanam. This is where we stop. We move onwards from there. And we come back to Hastinapura, where Drtharashtra and others are there, right? So Drtharashtra and others have, one second. Yeah, Drtharashtra and others had seen the backs of the Pandavas after they've left, and the one person who is always vacillating is Dhritarashtra. And he is doing precisely that. Vaishampayana is telling Janamedaya, one second. I'm getting. Yeah. Vaishampayana is telling Janamedaya that, O king, when the Pandavas had left for the forest, Ambika Nandana Dhritarashtra, Ambika is his mother's name, Ambika Nandana Dhritarashtra was in bad shape mentally. He called for his brother Mahabuddhiman Vidura to ask him for his counsel. And Dhritarashtra said, O Vidura, your buddhi is as pure as that of Shukracharya. Shukra is Niti, no? Shukra Niti. He is one of the great definers of the right path. Oh, your buddhi is pure as Shukracharya. You know the most subtle aspects of dharma, O Vidura. You have also an even eye towards Pandavas and Kauravas. So advise me, O Vidura, what should be the correct thing for me to do? What should be the correct action that I have to take towards the Pandavas now? The problem is that the people of this land are now all going against us, O Vidura. What should be done so that the people of this country again become affectionate towards us? Now you see where Dhritarashtra is coming from. I mean, it's coming from the fact that, well, Pandavas have been exiled, that's good, but then the people of our Hastinapura are not, they are not respecting us. They don't have the usual, they are not affectionate towards us. So what should I do? That's where he's coming from. Vidura says, O king, you must adhere to dharma, which is the foundation of all that is good. Shakuni and others have resorted to wholesale adharma. They have betrayed dharma totally. Yet, there is a way, there is still perhaps a way by which the great evil done by the Duratmas to the Pandavas, that can be doused. Some Shanti Upaya is possible, O king, by which perhaps even Duryodhana can be freed of his sins and maybe prosper again. So Dhritarashtra has all ears. Say, what should I do? He says, call Yudhishthira back, says Yudhishthira. Call Yudhishthira back and make him the king of this entire country. Whole country. Hand over the kingship to him. Your foremost duty, O king, is to give joy to the Pandavas somehow and to denounce Shakuni. If you do this, if you call Dharmaputra Yudhishthira and hand over the whole kingdom to him, after that, if your sons have still some bhagya rekha left, some good fortune, line of good fortune still left in their hands, some good fortune left, they will get to rule their part of the kingdom. O king, if you do not do this, if you do not hand over the whole kingdom to Dharmaputra, your Kaurava Kulam, this entire clan of yours, will be destroyed, root and stock. Bhimasena and Arjuna will not leave anyone alive. O king, I told you when Duryodhana was born. When he was born, I told you, renounce this baby, renounce this child, or else he will destroy your entire family. But you did not heed my advice. But now that we are here, if you take this counsel that I have told you, and if Duryodhana can accept to share that kingdom with Yudhishthira, then it will be good for all. Your son Duryodhana needs to be controlled. Control your harmful son Duryodhana and coronate Yudhishthira as the king. Let Dushyasana, Shakuni and Karna accept Yudhishthira with affection. Not Dushyasana, Duryodhana. Let Duryodhana, Shakuni and Karna accept Yudhishthira with affection. And let Dushyasana stand in front of the full assembly and ask for forgiveness from Bhimasena and from Draupadi. If you do this, O king, that will be the just thing to do. And you will achieve success. So this was the advice that Vidura gives to Drtharashtra. And Drtharashtra says, "O Vidura," now this is being told in the assembly. There are others listening. Everybody is there. Duryodhana is there. Everybody is there. Drtharashtra says, "O Vidura, what you have said in this assembly just now is clearly something which is partisan. It is to the benefit of the Pandavas. And it is detrimental to the interests of my sons. So my mind is not able to accept your advice. From what you have said just now, it is clear that you have come here with a predetermined mind to side with the Pandavas. From your behavior today, I have understood that you are not my well-wisher, O Vidura. How on earth can I give up my sons in favor of the Pandavas? There's no question at all. And then again, yes, I agree, Pandavas are also my sons. Yes. Of that also there is no question. They are my sons. But Duryodhana is sakshat born out of my own body. Which man of right mind, of fair mind, would advise another to give up his own body for the sake of somebody else? Oh Vidura, I have always given you great respect. But you are giving me dishonest, deceitful, perverse advice. False. False advice. Oh, Vidura, you may leave me and go. Go wherever you want. Leave me and go. Leave us. Or if you want to stay, stay. But I have no use for you anymore. What can be done about a Kulatastri? You're like a woman of loose morals, whose nature cannot be changed. Vidura, go away from me. Vaishampayana tells Janamejaya, oh Janamejaya. Pandavas, meanwhile, they went westwards. They crossed the Ganga, went westwards. They crossed the Saraswati river. They crossed the Drishadwati river. They crossed the Jamuna river. They went across Marubhumi. Marubhumi is Rajasthan, Marwar. Maru is sand. And other lands. And they reached Vana, a place dear to rishis and munis. There are lots of birds and animals resided there. Meanwhile, Vidura left Hastinapura because he had been thrown out. He left Hastinapura on a fast horse chariot and he went searching for the Pandavas. And he finally found them in Kamyakavana. Seeing Vidura coming from far, noticing that Vidura was coming in his chariot towards them, Yudhishthira got worried. And he told Bhimasena, why is Vidura coming here? What does he have to tell us now? Has he been sent by Shakuni once again to invite us to another game of gambling? Hope that this low-down Shakuni has not decided that he would like to win our weapons. If he calls us for gambling, I cannot decline, Bhimasena. But if the Gandiva of Arjuna is lost, then all is lost. Then our regaining the kingdom is in doubt. Meanwhile, Vidura arrived. So they all welcomed Vidura and they inquired from him. And Vidura told them all that had happened. He told them that Drtharashtra had asked like this, I had told like this, but he is not listening to me, etc. He said that Drtharashtra's situation is like this. Just like a person who is in the grips of some disease, if you give him some wholesome food, he won't like it. He'll push it away. Just likewise, Drtharashtra is pushing away my words of advice. Just like if a 16-year-old girl is made to marry a 60-year-old man, the girl will have no interest in that man. Likewise, Drtharashtra has simply got no interest in What good words? Anything that I'm saying. I mean, it's just that is the analogy is restricted to the disinterested part. Just like some water that is poured on a lotus leaf will not stay. It just roll and fall off. Likewise, my words are just hitting his ear and going away. He told me in anger, great anger, Dhritarashtra told me, Yasmin Shraddha Bharata Tatratrahi. Wherever you think you are faithful to whichever, wherever you have faith, to that place you go. He told me. Naham kamaye bhuyam kamaye tvam sahayam mahimimam pale tumbaram puram va. Dhritarashtra told me, I will never seek your help again, Vidura. Either for the sake of this kingdom or for the sake of my own house, family, I'll never ask you for your help again. Just go. That's what he told me. So I've been abandoned by him. So I have come to you. And I just wanted to reiterate what I have already told you as advice. I just want to reiterate that. Whoever is able to have forbearance, tolerance, to be able to bear the pains that the enemy has caused. Forgiveness also, maybe. But consolidate himself slowly. Just like if a fire is reduced to something very small, there's only a small flame. But if you gather around it lots of dry leaves and branches, etc., and to its side, it can pick up and become a big fire again. Likewise, you should now consolidate, you should start building allies, okay? You need all the help that you can get. And the manner in which a great king behaves with his allies is such that they are like yourself. You must treat them as if they are your very self. Your wealth is their wealth. If they get that feeling, then your distress is their distress. And you must eat together in level, sit down together and eat. Right? And in front of them, never ever boast yours. Never ever speak about your own greatness. Never do that. With your allies that whom you're going to gather the journey. Do that. And all good will come to you, Yudhishthira. See what he's saying? Now, so now, O Pandavas, now that Dhritarashtra has told me he does not need my assistance anymore and has asked me to go wherever I wished, I have come to you. He has announced me. So I have come to be of use to you, to be of counsel to you. Meanwhile, back in Hastinapura, what is the scene? Vaishampana is telling Janmejaya about what's happening there. He says, "O king, when Vidura had left, Drtharashtra became again Damadol, also remorse. He's a mixture of a character like me, full of remorse. And he was thinking of Vidura. And then his mind also went to the fact Vidura is an expert in Niti. Vidura Niti. Yatha Vidura. When you talk about statecraft and such other applications of mind, he is considered an authority, like in relativity, it is Einstein. Vidura Niti. So Vidura, who is an expert in statecraft, diplomacy, and counseling and advice. If by chance he goes to the Pandava side, he's thinking, Dhritarashtra is thinking, then my God, the Pandavas will benefit tremendously. Right? Even in modern corporate warfare, there's a brilliant person in your company. For whatever reason, the head of the company or the head of the department or whoever doesn't like him. They have a choice. You can ask him to go. But the problem is he may join the competitor. So those with application of mind, they don't do that. They don't ask the person to go. They just make his life miserable. Right here. Not miserable in a immediate sense, but in a long-term sense. Basically, lose him in time. Until he's no longer worth worrying about. So, Dhritarashtra is worried now, saying, this man, if he goes to Pandava side, then what will happen? And he was seized with such fear on the thought that this man is going to Pandava side. I've thrown him out like, I made a big mistake. Then he felt sudden rush of that possibility, the probability rather, that he fell unconscious. Sudden. Then he came back and he called immediately for Sanjaya. Sanjaya, he said, Sanjaya. Vidura is my brother. Vidura is my well-wisher. His heart is for me. And I don't know what I've done. Thinking about him now, my heart is breaking. Sanjaya. Go and bring him back. Go and bring back my Dharmagya brother quickly. Please go and get him back. Saying this, Dhritarashtra broke down and wept. Oh, he started weeping. I am a sinner, he said. I am a sinner. In stupid anger, I have sent away my wise brother Vidura. I don't know where he's gone, and I don't even know whether he's alive now. I hope he's not given up his life. A great offense has been committed by me. Oh Sanjaya, please go find him and somehow find him and bring him back. Otherwise, I will have to give up my life. So he sent off Sanjaya, wise man, like Vidura. He headed, he said, wherever Pandavas will be there, Vidura will be there. So he headed, finding out where they have gone, and he also landed up in Kamekavanam, where Pandavas were there, Vidura was there, etc. Sanjaya went there and he conveyed Dhritarashtra's message to Vidura, saying, your brother is broken, he wants you back. And he brought Vidura back to Hastinapura. And when Vidura came, Dhritarashtra just embraced him and he cried. And he told him, Dishtya praptosi. Dharmagya Drishtya Smarasi Me Anaga. O knower of Dharma, it is by great good fortune that I have been able to get you back. It is my great good fortune that you still have some thought about me. O wise Vidura. O Vidura, thinking about you after you left, every second of my, every thought of mine was about you, and I have lost all sleep. Look at the state I am in. Saying this, he again hugged him to his chest and asked him, will you forgive me? Will you forgive me? Vidura said, all has been forgiven, O king. All has been forgiven. Where is the question? Where is the question? You are my Parama Guru, O king. I have come to have your darshan. I have come to have your darshan with great enthusiasm and in great hurry I have come back. O king, you are upset that I spoke on the side of the Pandavas. But you must understand, O king, it is natural that a sadhu purusha tilts towards those who are in distress. For me, the Kauravas and Pandavas are the same, O king. But since the Pandavas are in a sorrowful state, my heart does sway towards them. But Drtharashtra and Vidura were both happy to be with each other again. But somebody was very unhappy. And that was Duryodhana. He was very upset. He was very upset. He quickly went aside. He called for Dushasana, Shakuni and Karna, and he told them, this fellow has returned. This Vidura has come back. This fellow will tell father to call back the Pandavas. Somehow he'll convince him. I can't have that happening. If by any chance I see these Pandavas coming back, I will give up my life. I will give up all food. I will not even take water. Those jokers come back. Visham Udbandhanam Saiva Shastramagni Praveshanam. I would rather take poison or hang myself or kill myself with my own weapons or just enter into the fire. But I will not be able to see the Pandavas prosper even the slightest bit. I can't have that. Shakuni said, O king, why are you behaving like a child? The Pandavas have sworn to spend 13 years away from here in the forest. They will not break that vow and come back. If by chance, some chance, your father convinces them to break their vow and come back, well, let us act as if it's fine. It's fine with us. Yeah. And we'll secretly observe all the holes in the armor of the Pandavas. Right? Dushasana said, was standing there, Mama, my mind always loves what you say. Karna was there. Karna said, O Duryodhana, Pandavas will not come back. Pandavas will never come back without fulfilling their vow. If by chance they do, then you can defeat them once more in gambling. But even as he said this, he noticed that Duryodhana was not pleased by all that was being said. All these didn't make an effect on him. So to amend this, Karna opened his beautiful wide eyes. He opened that fully and proclaimed, "O kings," he said, "listen to what I suggest." Told the other three, "We are Duryodhana's servants. We are his hands. And we have no mind in this. We should do what pleases him. But we are not able to do so. We are not able to give up our idleness, our lethargy, and rise to the occasion. It is my suggestion. Please listen. My suggestion is this: that we take up arms. We take up arms and shields, and we attack Pandavas right now. Wherever they are. Go get them. Let's go and kill them now. In the forest. Right now they are in distress. And only so long as they are in distress, only so long as they don't have any other allies, is there a chance for us to go and one strike finish them off. One window of opportunity we have. Let's take it. This Duryodhana liked to hear. And everyone said, "Badam, Badam, well said, good, good." Let's do so. And immediately they prepared themselves, armed themselves with terrific weapons, got their chariots, etc. Crack force along with them. And they left the city towards fast horses towards the forest. But they did not know that. Tan prasthitan parigyaya Krishnadvaipayana Prabhu Ajagama Vishuddhatma Drishtva Divyena Chakshusha. They did not factor the writer of the story, Vyasa. Vyasa, by his divine eyes, Divyena Chakshusha, he saw this happening. And kind of not in my story kind of thing. Having seen that this is what is happening. The pure soul, Vishuddhatma, Ajagama, he came. He came there. He stopped them in their tracks. Stop. Returned. And brought them back to Hastinapura, to Drtharashtra. After all, he's Drtharashtra's father. Remember that. He's the father of the story. Mahabharata. He came there and he told Drtharashtra, "O king, I am not at all happy with the happenings here. This Murkha Papatma son of yours now wants to kill them. Stop this fool, or he will lose his own life." Oh, Drtharashtra, you are a good-natured boy. You are a good-natured man. Like Vidura, like Bhishma, like Kripacharya, like Dronacharya. You are not bad-natured. O wise king, you know well that Swajana Kalaham that is, family feuds, are considered very base, bad things. Family feud leads to great adharma. It leads to bad name, ill fame. Do not fight with your own blood. Drtharashtra, if Duryodhana is not controlled, it will result in terrible atrocities. If Duryodhana really wants to go there, what he should do is, he should go alone. Let him go alone without taking anybody with him. Let him go there in peace and say that I will stay with you. Let him stay with the Pandavas in the forest. Let him be in their company. That's all he has to do. And if he does that and stays with them, maybe they will develop some affection for him. Maybe then your mission may be fulfilled. But then again, it is said that people are born with a certain character and that character cannot be changed. A dog's tail cannot be straightened. Even if you pour Amrita, won't work. So I don't know what you're going to do. But what is it that you are wanting to do? Okay. What is the view you have? What is the view Bhishma has, Vidura has, Kripa has, Drona has? Should you not think through and should not your considered view prevail? Dhritarashtra replied saying, Bhagavan. I mean, this entire gambling time, he didn't come, right? Vyasa has only come now. He knows everything. His story. He says, Bhagavan, I have never liked gambling. Not for me. It is only the force above, fate, that literally dragged me to act the way that I did. I went against the advice of Bhishma, Drona, Vidura. I even went against the advice of Gandhari. I know that my son Duryodhana does not adhere to dharma. He does not adhere to the right path. But I am unable to renounce him because of my sneha, my love for him. Vyasa told him, Vachitra Nripate Satyamahat Jitha Bhavan Dridham Vidma Param Putran Vidyate. O Vichitra son, O king, you have spoken the truth. Indeed, for a man, his son is very dear. In fact, nothing in the world is more dear than his son. But I have your good at heart, and so I tell you this. Let me tell you an anecdote, an old anecdote, which is in the form of samvada between Indra and the holy cow, Surabhi. Once, Surabhi went to Indra and wept bitterly. She was crying. The cow was crying. The great cow, Surabhi, wish-fulfilling cow, was crying bitterly. He was shocked to see this and he asked her, why are you crying? And she said, oh, Deveshwara, I am not able to stand the distress that my son is undergoing. See, She pointed out. There in the fields below, one of the fields below in the earth, there are two cows which were yoked to a bullock cart, an oxen rather, to a ploughing. They are ploughing, pulling the yoke to a plough, pulling the plough. The farmer was beating one cow. He said, look, see that low-down farmer is whipping my child again and again. Yoking it to the plough, oh Indra, this poor child of mine. He just wants to take some rest. And this farmer is beating it with a stout stick. Look how weak my son is. The bull which is yoked alongside is strong, but this one is so weak. This son is so weak. His nerves are seen in the body. He's not able to pull this heavy plow. Look, he's being whipped again so badly. Ho, 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 she started crying. Indra asked her, oh Surabhi, all the cows in the world are your children. Why are you crying for this one? Surabhi said, it is true that all the cows are my children. But among them, when I see any child of mine, a particular child of mine is in distress, my heart goes to that child. Story, of course, Jasa says, Indra then said, fine, and then he sent some heavy rain, so the farmer could not plow, so he stopped plowing, and then the distress of that, he'd stop whipping that cow. That's a different story. But Vyasa coming back here, he says, likewise, O king, for you, both the Kauravas, that is, Duryodhana and brothers, as well as Pandavas, are all your sons. But you must have more compassion towards the Pandavas because they are in disaster, they are in distress state. O son of mine, O Drtharashtra, for me, you, Pandu and Vidura are all equal. I tell you, whatever I'm telling you, out of affection for you, O king. You have 101 sons. Pandu is known to have only 5. And they are so straightforward, so innocent, so good. And right now, those sons of Pandu are in great difficulty. So I worry. How will they live? How will they prosper? That's my worry. O king, if you want the Kaurava race to survive, then may your son make peace with the Pandavas. On that note, we'll kind of set off into the Vana Parva. We'll conclude there today, and we'll take off next week, continuing from here. Har Nama Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Janaki Kantas Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Rama Gopika Jivana Smaranam Govinda Govinda Vetrivel Muruganakku Hararoha Shri Sadguru Swamina Jai Shri Anjaneya Swamina Jai Jai